Welcome to Markets Today. I'm Lata Venkatesh and with me is Sonia Shenoy. Well, it started as a big bang day and then for a better part of the morning, mid-morning and afternoon, it was a nothing kind of day when gains were lost. But some very furtive activity in the bank index towards end of day helped us actually shatter records, and the Sensex and the Nifty actually ended at all-time highs for themselves, and the mid-caps also didn't do too well. In the end, advances were more than declines, so a good trading day.
Yes, a good trading day indeed, and there were two anchors of the market today. One was ITC and the other was the banking space. So let's take our viewers through all the top headlines and then we'll talk about all these stocks and more. The markets end in the green after a volatile trading day. The Nifty manages to close above 8560, while mid-caps outperformed to close with 0.5% gains. Rakesh Arora of Macquarie lays out a fresh Nifty target of 9,960 for the next 12 months.
ITC, as we told you, is the star performer today, rising 5% to news that the government may not ban the sale of loose cigarettes, while Infosys was in focus today after CEO Vishal Sikka outlined strategy for the first time. He says renew and new will be the strategic focus for the IT major.
And ABB is the big star today. It rose 13% after the ABB Global CEO told CNBC TV18 that they plan to double their exports from India in the next 3 to 5 years.
Well, those were the headlines, and here are the experts that we have lined up on the show for you. Market perspective from Rakesh Arora of Macquarie Capital Securities. Vishal Sikka, as always, will talk about the technicals, and the chairman of Reliance Industries, Mukesh Ambani himself, will give us his take on the Indian economy.
All right, so power-packed lineup in the next half an hour. But first, straight to the day's trading action. Record highs followed by profit booking, then a late recovery. That, in essence, was the market action today. In fact, quite a volatile trading session. But Anuj is here to give us a wrap of all that took place in today's trade. Anuj.
Well, a bizarre trading session for the market today. It opened at an all-time high. After that, it slipped. And really, the one stock which kept the market in the green was ITC. Ex of ITC, the market would have closed in the red. But ITC was up 5% and contributed about 40 points to Nifty's run. Private banks did well, and that's something that bulls would like. So ICICI, IndusInd Bank, HDFC Bank, they were in the green. On the losing side, you had some heavyweights like Bharti Airtel, Reliance, Infosys, Larsen & Toubro, even ONGC. So they contributed on the way down. On the mid-cap side, a couple of high-beta names looked good. So Alok Industries and Punj Lloyd both traded with strong volumes. And MNCs, that was the theme of the day. So ABB, Siemens, Bosch, these were some names that looked good in trade today.
Oh yes, Anuj, that was well put, and we have been talking about the big push that came from ITC and from the banks. But there were also those individual mid-caps. Anuj mentioned ABB, and there were those defense-rated stocks, Punj Lloyd and BEL, which were doing well because a bunch of defense licenses were given to some manufacturing companies. Again, all the yes banks, the L&T Finance Holdings, those who depend on wholesale finance did very well with bond yields staying at that 7.95, 7.96 mark. So there were these themes that were playing out. Value buying, you will have to admit, had some meaning to it, though of course you could see some bit of profit taking in some of the stocks that had flown too fast, notably the paint companies. But let's get you some more market perspective for the medium term. Rakesh Arora of Macquarie Capital Securities says that he expects the Nifty to touch a new high, a new target of 9,960 in the next 12 months, driven by strong earnings. Let's listen into his view.
Basically, our new target is 9,960, which is 17% upside from current levels. And this is driven by a 15-time earnings estimate for FY17. Largely, this is in line with 17-year average P multiples that we've seen for the market. Clearly, it is going to be earnings driven from here on. And, P should remain at around 15 times for next year. First of all, we think that, given the global situation, investors will be willing to give a slightly longer rope to India. And the hope trade which is currently happening or underway in India will continue for some more time. So we don't think that, market is likely to see a big correction anytime soon. If correction was to happen for some event, I think it will be limited to 4-5%, and that should be a buying opportunity for investors to get in for longer term. Earnings for FY16 and 17 are conservatively forecasted by consensus to grow at 19 to 20%, and there's a huge amount of operating and financial leverage into it. For every 100 basis point drop in inflation, which will happen if crude continues to fall, there's a 30 basis point improvement in EBITDA margins for the top 200 companies, and this could mean around 1 percentage point into earnings growth. So yes, if crude starts to fall more aggressively, and there could be upside.
That's a bullish view coming in from Macquarie Securities. But now for all the action from the futures and options space, let's go across to Nigel D'Souza. Nigel.
Well, in today's trade itself, the Nifty opened up, gap up close to around 50 points out. Then we saw some profit booking. But what's encouraging is that in the last hour of trade, the Nifty did a bit of a recovery, and that was backed by some put writing. So the 8,500 put did see aggressive writing in today's trade, but the 8,600 put, that one as well was being written. The premium fell from around 90 bucks plus all the way to around 84 rupees. So in the near term, that 8,510 to around 8,520 range seems like the range in which the Nifty could see some kind of buying interest, because there was writing even at around that 8,600 odd mark. Out of the money call buying as well made you some money today. So those traders that believe that in fact December is going to be a fairly good month, they're going ahead buying the 8,900 call trade. The premium went from around 6 bucks to around 7 bucks, and also the 8,800 call, we did see the premium move from around 17 to around 19 rupees. Remember, these call buyers make money only if the Nifty goes ahead and crosses that 8,800 mark or around that 8,900 odd mark. Individual stocks that won focus today, ITC, that was the big heavyweight that led the Nifty higher. Continuous buying was seen on that particular counter, while we did see some big buying on Siemens India as well today. The open interest as well swelled up on that counter. Sun TV, after the big run we saw yesterday, today did come in for a bit of a short covering bounce. And on the other side, some stocks that have seen a bit of a run, they came in for some unwinding pressure. So Tata Communications did see unwinding of long positions, as well as Auto Pharma, that big star over the last 1 year odd. That one as well did see some unwinding of longs in today's trade. JP Associates started off in the green, but traders used that as a big shorting opportunity. So that one was being shorted in today's trade itself.
Thanks a lot for that, Nigel. Well, like all of us have been telling you, the big mover on the index today was the cigarette stock ITC, but it was not the only cigarette company that did well. Godfrey Phillips and VST also surged, and all these stocks were rising nearly 4 and 6% on the back of news that the proposal to ban the sale of loose cigarettes is likely to be put on the back burner by the government. Pragya Bharadwaj joins us now with her analysis of what this means to the stocks. Tell us, Pragya.
Well, absolutely. Quite a bit of a sigh of relief for these companies, and all the negative news flow, it seems, has come to a closure with the clarity that has emerged from the news which came in after market hours. Like you said, the government is unlikely now to ban the sale of loose cigarettes in the near term, also putting to hold all of the stringent regulations that were spoken about in the expert panel committee report, which was submitted at the Health Ministry. Now, no hasty steps will be taken until the interministerial consultations are over. The government believes that this could hurt the interests of the tobacco farmers. Remember, there's almost 6,000 crores worth of exports that happen of tobacco from the country. Rationale, a lot of the analysts are finding it difficult to connect the dots, but what's definite is that it marks the closure of all the negative news. What we saw on ITC today was definitely incremental gains. The stock had collapsed to levels of 349 when the news had first come on 25th of November. It had regained all of that lost ground, but today on the back of this news, we saw some big gains come in on the stock. Of course, there is that budget and the excise duty overhang, and the fact that there are very few potential stock triggers on a stock like ITC that we're staring at this point of time. But a lot of the analysts believe that all the negative news flow that had ensured that ITC underperformed definitely the FMCG index up until now compared to some of its peers like HUL and Asian Paints up until now, at least that fear is over. And which is why, you saw that big gain. Stock is now within a kissing distance of its 52-week high. So big relief for a lot of these companies, and they were smiling away today. Back to you.
All right, Pragya, thanks for that. So from one heavyweight to another, Infosys was the other stock on our radar today. The Infosys CEO, Vishal Sikka, held his largest ever analyst meet, his first ever analyst meet rather. It's been just 4 months since he took over the top job, and he says that a detailed strategy would be ready only by the month of April 2015. For now, though, the leadership team has articulated a broad strategy that focuses on renew, and new. Kritika Saxena joins us to give us all the details. Kritika.
So I'll break up, Sonia, what the renew and new means. By renew, he's basically talking about restructuring their entire existing service line. So specifically the areas that he pointed out were business process management, infrastructure management services, application maintenance, the financial software, Finacle, to name a few. Now aside from that, they are looking at entering into newer areas within consulting, within product engineering and design, within platform services, and within even creating innovation platforms. But you know, the big headline was the fact that he has confirmed that Infosys is actively scouting for merger and acquisition opportunities. So while they are looking at growing organically, and the renew and new strategy is for that, inorganic strategy is also to look at emerging technologies, new startups with unique IPs, and possibly look at under-penetrated geographies and verticals for an acquisition. So let's see if he does live up to that.
All right. Kritika, thanks so much for that. Well, moving on, defense stocks also surged in trade today after the CNBC TV18 report that the DIPP has granted industrial licenses to several defense companies. In tune with the Modi government's Make in India push, the DIPP has cleared most of the 34 industrial license proposals since 2012. Rituparna Bhuyan has a report.
This is the second time in 2 months that the DIPP has cleared defense sector related industrial licenses in bulk. There was a meeting on 2nd of December where 34 proposals related to the defense sector were considered, and according to my sources, most of them have been cleared. These proposals included 7 proposals from PIPAP Defense, 2 proposals from Punch Lloyd Aviation, and 1 proposal each from Tata Motors as well as Piramal Systems. And it's interesting to know the kind of proposals which were taken up in that meeting. For example, PIPAP Defense proposed not only to manufacture ships, warships, frigates and submarines, but also tanks and missiles. Tata Motors, for example, had proposed a manufacture of main battle tanks as well as armored vehicles. This is interesting because India's own indigenous main battle tank program, Arjun, that has not progressed the way it should have. Then you have Piramal Systems proposing to manufacture UAVs in India, and last but not the least, you have Punch Lloyd proposing to manufacture aircrafts and UAVs. Now this is significant because industrial license is the last proposal that is needed before a company goes ahead and manufactures these products, and it remains to be seen when the production of these proposed licenses they actually gets implemented, because that will add to the overall manufacturing prowess of the country. With that, it's back to you.
You know, that may be a distance away, but today the stocks were all excited, you will have to say. Time for a break now, but coming up, Sudarshan Sukhani will join in for a technical chat. We will also get you some trading ideas.